an episode coming up that delves a little bit into Cass's background and family. Can you talk about that, Misha?
I think that got cut.
That's another awkward thing to talk about. Well, we're doing it. We're doing it right now. So yeah, we just came downstairs from
Doing it
shooting a
upstairs.
scene in an old church where we are dealing with some of Cass's old battalion mates from heaven, and yeah, I think it's interesting for him to sort of rehash old memories, for sure.
Also get a glimpse of what Cass was like before.
Before he was humanized a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're seeing the earliest version of Cass to date,
Yes,
which is kind of interesting, to say
to
the
say
least.
the least.
We don't know much about your character yet, besides the fact that she has history with Castiel. So could you tease a little bit about who you are playing?
My character's name is Lily Sunder, and it's true, she does have a history, Castiel, whose name I now know how to pronounce properly thanks to the people on social media who jumped to my correction when I announced it as Castiel. So I will never do that again. But they were very nice about it. They were firm though. So I do have a history with Castiel, and it's not necessarily a positive history. There's perhaps a bit of friction there. And yeah, they certainly recognize each other.
What can you preview about her interaction with the Winchester brothers?
I do have interactions with them. I've gotten to work with them, and they're two giant goofballs in real life. They're just always laughing. They have so much fun together. And here's a fun thing. When I met Jensen, I thought I was meeting him in the makeup trailer last week. He was like, "Oh, good to see you. Remember I was on Sybil?" I was like, "What?" And he reminded me which episode it had been, because I was just surprised by that at first. And then he reminded me, I was like, "Oh, no way, of course, that was you." But we were both so young. And and then I went back and I found that somebody had compiled a YouTube video of his scenes on the show, and there was me, that right there with him. So I've actually worked with Jensen before. I think he said it was his second professional job ever. He had just moved to LA from Dallas, and he was great in it, of course.
Can you tell us anything about kind of her character traits, anything that's kind of defining about her, anything that you've connected to in approaching the role?
I could definitely relate to her and what she's experiencing and what she's gone through. I don't think I'm allowed to say much more about what it is, but I related very deeply to her on several different levels. And I also got to do a lot of fighting in this episode. And I've done quite a few fight scenes in my career, but I did different fighting in this than I've done, using different weapons than I've ever used before.
Given that